Hi there. So we already practiced standing on the floor and we got into the right position. So again, your feet are going to be together, touching the wall and pressing into the wall, big toes together. You're going to tighten the kneecap, draw them up, spin the upper inner thigh in, compact the hip, and of course as we pulled away, bent our knees and pulled away from the wall, the upper bum moved away from the back. So we're now engaged in all this muscles, front thigh to the back thigh, all these things. We're going to now throw in some arm movements in order to begin to engage the shoulders and begin to loosen them up and train the shoulder blade and the arm position where they need to be in order to improve some rounding in the shoulders and improve that hump in the middle of the back that people often get. So for this, what you're going to need is, again, the yoga mat, a blanket if you need it. You're going to need a strap. Okay, so this strap, you can purchase these straps at various places. So you're just going to have to find one with a buckle. The reason for the buckle is so that you can make it wider or narrower as need be for you. So to start this exercise, the exercise needs to be so that you put your hands in here and your arms are going to be shoulder width apart. So this is ideal. But let's say your shoulders are super tight and you're walking around and there's a soft bend in your shoulder. It's better to go wider, okay, and work on straightening out that soft bend in the elbows by having the strap a little wider. So that's key to open this part up before we can actually really get to the shoulders. So when you have that in your arms, these shoulders have been quite tight for quite some time and it's running out of places where it can compensate, so it's going in your elbows. Okay, so in order to fix this, then you need to first fix this. Okay, but so determine, if it's really super rounded or whatnot. You'll begin to get an appreciation for if you need to make the strap go wider. So in this case, she's just going to get the strap so that it is shoulder width apart. And the strap should be just below the elbow on the forearm part, okay? And if it's on this side of the arm, the strap will start hitting your face, no good, okay? So have the strap just below the elbow and then you can begin to even hit out against the strap. And that the strap is really helping you to get a little further in this move, and it supports this move because, believe it or not, it's quite challenging what we're about to do. So we're going to fire up the arms and get some energy and extension and life into these arms as they're going in. So and you're going to put them upright up in the air like this at 90. And then you're going to plug in the arms. Yeah, so let's unplug that arm. So this is plugged in and unplugged. So what typically happens is as you bring your arms up, they're just kind of sitting out here, but what would happen is if I move my arms up from this position, it's all scrunchy, I don't have enough room. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug the shoulders in and then go up, and you can see there's now space for my neck. Okay, so that's a key point. Make sure you plug in those shoulders into their sockets. Okay, so let's go up again. Plug them in. Boom, and get some life in there and as straight as possible. And now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly begin to raise these arms over our head. Now as we're doing this, it is key that you press the front ribs here down as you're controlling this movement. So the arm action is tricep over the bicep, tricep over the bicep. And what this is going to do is it opens up this portion of the shoulder, which gets super tight for people, and press the front rib. So let's see what happens if we let the action pop the ribs up a bit. The action all goes into your lumbar spine. So your lumbar spine begins to move your shoulders. So then you can see if your shoulders are super tight and they're not playing the game, your lumbar spine gets called into everyday regular shoulder movements. So you've just compounded the repeated stresses on your lumbar spine if the shoulders are tight. So that's why low backs can really hurt if the shoulders are tight. So let's press those front ribs down, okay? And she can get to the floor fairly well, but if you can't, the goal is not the floor. The goal is the motion, opening these arms up in this direction. So tricep over the bicep, and front ribs down. As you're first doing this, oh, and don't forget the action of the legs. So the more that these legs are working, it helps to anchor all of this so that it prevents action going into the lumbar spine. So let's say you can't get to the floor. But the floor is a great teacher because then you can press into the floor and work this motion more. But if you can't reach it, what are you going to do? We're going to bring in some props. So I have here an empty box, but you can certainly blankets, a coffee table, and it can even be higher. It doesn't really matter. And in fact, it's nice to have a higher height because you can really work this. So now Mary Lee can press in here and she can work this motion even more. So this is a key part, rolling the tricep over the bicep. Again, as I was mentioning with legs, what helps lumbar spines is this upper inner thigh must roll in, not out. With arms, arms are the portal to fixing upper backs and necks. So if you can roll, keep this integrity of this arm rolling this way, you'll improve that roundness and you'll improve cervical spine health. Okay, so again, and then bringing this arm back up, you can begin to change the position of the arm. So like this, and practice it that way. And back again, front ribs down as you engage this. And just notice which arm is going faster and make sure that you're at the speed of the slower arm. It's your tighter arm. So that one needs, the faster arm needs to teach the slower arm what to do. So pay attention to that and make sure that it's as even as possible. Okay, let's, again, if you have time for one more exercise, doing this on the floor will tremendously help this section of your spine. And it's much easier on the floor, but we'll get to doing this standing, and that's pretty tough. So just stay tuned. Okay. Thank you.